leaves down here that I want to go in and do some detail on, and get some of this beautiful color on. So I'm just gonna go right on top and put some on top of this purple. This purple is all texture, even though it's a hard little line there. You'll see in a second that won't matter. After I do this, and this is on top of the Marabou Acryl Mousse, take your brush, a little bit of water, and look how beautiful that blends. Now I don't want to hide all my purple because I love purple. But I just want to change it from being solid purple to have this beautiful blue feel to it. The water's just spilling, not literally, in the painting, in our painting. There are my little peaks and valleys. Take that to make a little shadow back in here by our starfish. Now over here, it's wet. And watch what happens when I put the marker into wet. It does a bleed. See how it just makes a bleed on its own? How pretty is that? But I don't want to cover up all the white there, so I'm going to switch to the black and watch this. Watch this magic. So lightly. So light. It's our starfish. Wet brush. Pull that down so you can see the whole. And look how this blends. Puts this perfection of shadow on top of this. You're not left with any hard lines. It's very wonderful to blend this. And you don't want it everywhere. And just making a line really saves you from yourself, because it's a tendency to put too much paint on. So look how gentle that is. Those lovely little marks. If I want to put more shadowing under this, I can just take a little bit here, get my brush wet, and get the softest of shadows to happen and not lose my detail in the background. And I can even pull that right down into here. I'm going to put a little bit more down in here. Just a little bit more. There's one line up there. You want to create lots of little interesting things for people to look at in your paintings. And they can say, oh, how did she do that? How did he do that? And again, if you get any spots that you feel like you overdid it, look at that. Oh, that texture. Just dab it off. Do it as a do-over. Learn and move right on. This Aqua Pen Graphics Black is amazing. I'm going to take this one and just swoop that up. Swoop that right up. Bring this a little bit down on that side, just sort of to emphasize that motion of the ocean. going to come down and paint off the canvas. I'll show you pictures in the end of the edge of the canvas. It's going to be as beautiful as the front of. Very interesting. And this is a great time and a great product to fill in your little, you might have a space that you feel like is an empty space. Use this. Let's move over to this side. You see how that shadow, you see the contrast difference here? So this I'm going to take up, just pull a couple of them up, and just run this around just a little bit. Maybe, you know, you will, I promise you will get the feel for this. Pull a shadow in here. You see how I'm being so loose with this. And I'm not worrying about any other part of the canvas right now, just here. Okay, put your lid on. When you put these lids on, you'll hear them click. Hear that? I love that. You don't wonder if you got the lid on tight. Okay, let's make some shadows. And anything that I want to leave kind of defined, you can use a skinnier brush if you want to use a thinner brush for that. I don't like that. You can't see it anyway. I went a little crazy there. And this just takes it right off. So more water, and let some natural, beautiful shadow work just start happening magically. I promise, I want to hear what you think of this when you try this technique. I want to hear, comment on this video and tell me what you think of the shadowing with the Aqua Pen graphics by Mermaid. It's, for me, it's just a life changer. I would always put too much paint on my brush and I would be left with a mess. So before, when this looked naked and kind of just very, I don't know, I wasn't crazy about it. Now I am crazy about it. Take my shadowing in. I could even pull this and put some shadow on top of there. Yes, yes. Make some lines. Any part that I don't like, any part, dab, 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 dab. You want little pops of light, do this. Because when you take that dark off, we're left with all of our glorious colors that we have built from below. They come through for us. Super little thin bit of gesso on here. Now I want to make it so thin that this still shows through, and then I'm going to do something in it while the gesso is wet that is going to be just incredible. I'm going to get those pops, and a lot of this I love this. I'm not going to put it on all of it, just where my cracks were, and I'm just sort of feeling my way out on this too. Because I want to do some amazing little things here. So I'm going to just scrub this on my canvas. Thin, 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 think thin. Beautiful thin little layer coming down here. You see how I'm fanning it out to be little rays. Come in and I'll get some more. I might go from off of here too. And again, you can see I'm not covering the whole painting, just a little. If I had any part that was particularly dark that I want to, maybe just lighten up just a little bit, or put some interesting texture on. I had some cool texture happening here on our 80s paper. I can do that with this gesso. Just a little bit. I'm going to keep it darker down here. So right here, I'm just going to start working. Let me turn my camera so you can see. It's a pretty big canvas. I just want this to come down just here and there, not all over the place. Definitely don't want to cover up this color that we've created. I want it to be moonbeams, sunbeams. As I'm pulling these down, I need to sort of spread them out a bit too. Just some soft filtered light coming in through. Maybe here and there, grab a spot and lighten it up just by doing some dapple sort of painting. Oh, here we have a little bubble. I'm gonna lighten up a little bit of that. Just a little bit. I'll do the same on this one. Just a little. Not making hard circles. I'm not worrying about getting it perfect with this. These are all of our layers, so I'm just doing doing some layering here. And I'm using the gesso from up above. Can you still see my pencil lines on here? There's one of them. Nice rounded feel to this. Very three-dimensional. Going for lots of 3D effects on here. And I have another line that I drew here, and I truthfully can't remember what it was for when I sketched this out. I see another little bubble line right here, right behind our mermaid's back. And bubbles are so fun to paint because bubbles are colors of whatever is behind them. So this little one is behind our mermaid.